Well, I'd like to start thanking our fans, the parents, the students, the recruits that were at the game, and great home game atmosphere. And I really appreciate the folks that were there the whole game and your commitment. It was a great comeback win, and guys rallied as a football team, and as what we needed in that moment. And comebacks are all about responding and showcasing grit and resiliency, which has been a calling card of our program, one that we didn't show the week prior. And so something that was talked about a lot coming out of the last loss. And I was proud of the way the guys came together as a staff, as a team. And there was some key leadership, which we'll talk about at some point, I'm sure. But the way that we came back and played as a unit, offense, defense, special teams, sideline energy, down 2 scores, missing some key players, said a lot about the fight in our football team. And La Tech, did a great job in the first half, and obviously we hurt ourselves in some areas. I thought we started fast, 3 straight completions, one's an explosive, and then we have a penalty, which brings back, a 20-yard gain, goes from 1st and 10 to 1st and 25, which is a drive killer, and things that we have to fix. Playing good in the first quarter on offense was not a strength of ours going into that game. We started fast, and then we really self-implode when you have a penalty, particularly one that didn't need to happen. And so an area we need to improve. I thought we played complementary football in the second half, and our will to win in that locker room and on that football field was palpable. So very proud of our team in the locker room. It was captains first. Sean Brown did a great job talking to the group right away when they got in there. Davin Van, offensively, guys speaking up, and you could just feel their willingness to be different than they were the week prior. And we played complementary football, and that's something we have to do for 4 quarters or longer, however long it takes. And your captains have to be captains in those moments. And you see, like, the first drive of the second half, we go 3 and out. Davin Van comes free on a pass rush, hits the quarterback. Second straight week he's had an interception created through his quarterback pressure. That second week in a row it was a pick 6 as well. Great play by Donovan Kaufman. And then the next drive, the defense is right back out there, 3 and out. Offense goes on a 13-play drive, converts on 3rd and short, consecutive 2 straight times in that drive, which is an area we wanted to be better in and were, and scores a touchdown and takes the 2-score game and flips it the other way. We scored on every possession in the second half. Offensively, we possessed the ball, played way more physical with every position group on that side of the football. I was really proud of a lot of things over there in the perimeter, especially. Defensively held them to 3 points in the second half and had a really good goal line stand. I thought that was a key, something we needed to do on defense. And Caden Fordham, made a play down there and got him off the goal line. And CJ Bailey came in, played fast. Obviously he had the 1 interception. But besides that, I thought he made really good decisions. He threw the ball well. He gave his guys opportunities. He used his legs when he needed to get us some first downs. And, to have a comeback victory with a freshman quarterback and both backup corners in the game, I thought was impressive as a football team. And it wasn't just the 3 guys that came in. Obviously, they had a lot to do with it. The next man up always does. But sometimes when injuries take place, the guys around them will start trying to do too much. And I felt like it was the opposite. They trusted them. They did their jobs. They played really hard. And their will to win was there. And I was really upset, coming out of our last loss. Obviously, when you lose like that, there's a lot of things to be mad about. But to me, it was more about how we played, the lack of physicality that we played with. And it was the opposite, and it was demanded, and the guys understood it, and they did a great job being resilient and playing to the standard of competitive football, which is physical football at NC State. And when you watch our film, that's the first thing you should see if you're an opponent, is that we're going to play hard. We're going to play really hard. And that's something we've always done, and I felt like we did that in that football game. And you can see it in the statistics, when you talk about winning the line of scrimmage, they rushed the ball for less than 2 yards a carry. We rushed it for over 4 yards a carry. And those kind of things show up. And I stood on that line of scrimmage a lot in that football game to see which way it was going. And the knockback and the strain, the continuing to move my man a direction he doesn't want to go. And at the end of the day, that's what football is. You know, it's two people across from each other trying to impose their will. It's a physical sport, and it's got to be played that way. I thought on offense, our perimeter blocking was exceptional, and it's not something that gets talked about a lot, but it was, I thought Dakari Collins, Keenan Jackson put on a display of perimeter blocking in that game. Noah, Casey, Wesley, Terrell, they all did a great job going in there and doing some things that you're not recruited to do as a receiver. And that's part of running the football. And we improved, and we've got to improve more. But we did get better. We caught the football well. We made some good contact catches in the game. We got some good yards after the catch. Justin Jolie had a really nice catch on a second long to get us into a 3rd and short. And then he had a nice catch that turned into some yards after the play with some good running. I thought all 3 backs came in and ran hard, protected the football. They blocked well in pass protection. And I loved the final drive of the game. You know, we get the ball back with over 4 minutes and don't give them the ball. And so good complementary football. You know, negatives on offense, the 4 penalties. One of them's on our staff. We didn't substitute at the right time and got a penalty there. But, you know, we had the 1 personal foul and then the 2 holding penalties. And those kind of penalties kill drives. And so you've got to overcome a lot. And those are things we've got to be better at. We only had 4 penalties in the game. So, you know, from that standpoint, it was a pretty clean football game. But the ones that we had were drive killers. With Grayson, you know, he got dinged up. And I'm not going to get into the injury. It's good news on him. It's a day-to-day thing. We're going to take our time. And when he's ready, he'll be ready. You know, CJ's ready to play. And he's our quarterback until that happens. And we're behind him, you know, and the thing I would ask, you know, it's not about the quarterback. It's about cheering for the guy that's in the game. And when the guy's out of the game or if a guy's injured on our football team, praying for that guy to get healthy. I think, you know, as fans, sometimes fans don't understand, you know, that's a player and that kid loves our football team and he loves playing the sport. And when you're a 6th-year player, man, it's hard when you can't be out there. And the way he came back and cheered on CJ shows a lot about his character. He's a great teammate. He's one of us. And, you know, as a football program, anytime somebody goes down, especially a guy that's in his last year, it's not a season-ending thing, but it's a day-to-day thing. We're going to take our time with it. CJ's going to run the show until Grayson's healthy. And I'm excited to see what CJ can do, you know, and whoever that quarterback is wearing the red and white, the fans need to have his back and they need to be supportive. They need to pray for those kind of things when they happen. And that's what family does. You know, I was really proud of the way that the team rallied around CJ, but, you know, at halftime, when he knew it was his time to play, he had a big smile on his face. He was ready for the moment. And now he gets to go do it on the road against a really good football team in a tough environment. You know, defensively, 2 takeaways, a 4th down stop, really good fourth down stop on a play action pass out of an exotic formation, showed really good discipline. The goal line stand I talked about, you know, we stopped the run. I thought we tackled better for the most part. There was one play that was, I would call disgusting on our part where we missed 4 tackles. I thought the pick 6 by DK was a great football play. Davin straining, balls up, and then, you know, does a good job himself finding a lane and then taking care of the football. The guys played with a lot of strain on defense. They made plays on some one-on-one balls. You know, we lost one down the sideline where Corey fell down, but for the most part, we were in the right place. We played with poise. We didn't have pass interference calls. I thought our gap integrity was better and our eye discipline was way better. You know, the negatives, the one explosive pass I talked about should have been tackled. And 3rd down defense got better, but can continue to get better. And that's an area that, again, I've talked about a lot, but it did improve. You know, Aiden will be back this week. Cisse looks like he'll be fine. And so we should be back to full strength on that side of the football. You know, special teams, I'm proud of Kanoa. Again, he's just very steady. And, you know, 230-plus yarders and a 52-yarder. Points matter. And Colin Smith's done a great job again with our kickoffs, not just with his depth and touchbacks, but location. And he's done a nice job. I thought our coverage units were better. We played with much more speed and urgency getting down the field. The return game's really been a non-factor. Unfortunately, just a lot of touchback kicks against us. But Jalen Coit did a really nice job as a punt returner, making some smart decisions when he was in there. And so now we get ready for Clemson at their place, a great place to play football. Have great respect for their coaching staff and their players. It's a trophy game. It's the only trophy game we have, and it means a lot to the universities playing in it all the way back to the Textile Bowl. It's going to be a great matchup and very talented team that we're playing. And for us, we just got to focus on getting better and playing 4 quarters or overtime if it takes overtime, and just being as clean as we can, playing as hard as we can, straining as hard as we can, and just being a little better version of ourselves each week. You know, this is a team that will get better. NC State football teams over the years, we pride ourselves on improving as the year goes on. And so that takes an internal focus. It takes guys that are willing to admit the things that they got to do better, coaches fixing things schematically and then evolving, you know, over the course of the season. And we got to play a full game. You know, we've had spurts in games where we looked really good and spurts where we looked really bad. And so that's the evolution of this football team is, you know, learning the new parts learning how to play together better and how we play NC State football, hard, tough together. It's going to be a loud environment. They're coming off a game where they looked unstoppable and they scored 50-plus points in the first half against a good Appalachian State football team. And they were explosive in that game offensively. They played some young receivers that really took the top off of coverages. I thought Klubnik threw the ball extremely well in that football game. He's very accurate, showed touch, he showed range. We all know he can run and can run and throw. Their tight end, number 9, Brenning Stool, is a weapon. He's a good player. He made plays on us a year ago. The tailback, Maffa, he's a load. He's tough, big kid. You got to wrap him up. There's a lot of blocking schemes. I think Matt Luke's a really good offensive line coach and new addition to their staff. And they've got a good system, you know, and I think obviously like every team, you're seeing them grow and unique to be in our 4th game and to say that we're playing our 2nd straight opponent with the bye week's kind of weird, you know, to have teams with byes this early in the season back to back. And so there'll be some adjusting, I'm sure, for us with them having an extra week to play us. But this game's going to be about, you know, matching up, making plays, being physical, and not letting the noise of the environment dictate things. You can go down there and get a bunch of penalties. You've got to really stay locked in and focused on what you're doing. And I'm excited about the opportunity to go get better with this team. You know, this team really cares about improving. You know, we put a lot on them last week. There's a lot to improve and no different. You know, we've shown what we can do and we showed what we can't. And I think that's the thing as players, you have to have ownership and where your improvement is needed. And we have a lot to work on. And that's what I like about this team. This team likes to work. They really do. They're a fun group to coach. And so now we get a chance to go do that again and put it to the test. And arguably one of the harder places to play in the ACC against a really good football coach in Dabo, and I have a lot of respect, you know, for him and his staff and what they stand for. So looking forward to the opportunity and the challenge.